Hi, welcome to the Coastal Business Channel. Today we're going to discuss how to hold a prospecting meeting. This is going to differ for everybody. It really is going to go into your strengths, but this is what I will share with you how I run a prospecting meeting. Usually when I have a prospecting meeting, it's because I've already talked to you on the phone, and I would imagine for most people when you're having a prospecting meeting, you've already talked to the prospect. You already know their name, you know their spouse's name, you know a little bit about their interests, you know a little bit about what they're looking for. So when I have a prospecting meeting, a lot of them will take place in coffee shops, and I will set it up for, hey, would you like to meet 10, 20 minutes? I really just want to get to know you. You know, if you have more time, I'd love to be able to spend more time with you, but at minimum, I would like to meet you in person. And that's what I will share over the phone. And some people say, no, I have an hour, and others will be like, oh, quick coffee shop. Sorry, a quick meeting at a coffee shop. I have never had a 10-minute meeting, and I've never had a 20-minute meeting. I think most of my meetings go to 1 hour. I will have 2 hours slotted for a meeting, mainly because I don't ever want to feel rushed. I don't want to sit there with a client and feel like I have to get my kid to the soccer game or go to a conference, or I have another call that I might have. So that way I'm always relaxed. And sometimes, depending on where it is, I might, slate like a day, right? Maybe I need to wake up and prepare for the meeting, depending on my back and the weather. I give myself way too much time to get to a meeting. I have never been late to a meeting. I hope I never am late to a meeting. So some of going into a meeting is being prepared, and I'm more prepared, just mentally. I just need to calm myself down. I do not prepare questions in advance. I do not scour the internet trying to find everything about this person. I do not try to find out what their net worth is before our meeting. I usually know, they always say pre-qualify candidates. I never did that at Morgan Stanley, but I usually am meeting with Chicago graduates. So I'm lucky that I do know maybe what their job title is off of LinkedIn. So I will look at that, but I don't know how many kids they have. I don't know where they vacation. I'm not looking for their pictures in Hawaii. Like someplace, make sure you know what they do for fun so you can bring up that sport. So I really try to go into my meetings not knowing a lot about my client. So when we sit there and talk, I can be leaning forward, I can be listening, I'm intent. What is it you want to do? So we're going to have our little introductions. How are you doing? This is my wife, Leah. Thank you so much. I babysat for girl Leah, so I just confirmed how she spelled her name. So when I wrote it down and obviously wrote my thank you notes later, I wasn't spelling Leah wrong. My first question is, what led you to want this meeting? What are you looking for, right? I want to know through that question, and maybe some follow-up questions, is, do you have a financial advisor? Do you like your financial advisor? You don't have a financial advisor. Okay. Why do you want a financial advisor? What is it you need help with? This one of my recent clients, I should say prospect turned client, doesn't want to manage his money anymore. He did a fantastic job. He wants to travel. He doesn't want to have to worry about it. And then he was like, can I call you with option trades? So we'll see how this all pans out. And then other people, just had a 401k. They don't want to leave it at the company anymore. They left on bad taste. They want to roll it into an IRA. They've never worked with a financial advisor. They've only stuck it in mutual funds. And so you're kind of starting that conversation from the ground. But, that first question is, what led you to want this meeting? Then there's just a ton of follow-up, right? And what I'm trying to do in this meeting is really just ascertain, what do you want? What do you want for me? And what do you want with your investments, right? Is your goal to retire soon? Are you already retired? Are you looking for a financial advisor that you can talk to every day? Are you looking for a financial advisor that does everything? So, I have a new client that came in November. She and I talk sometimes twice a week, sometimes once a week. I think 1 week we talk 3 times a week. It depends what's going on in the economic data, because we're trying to readjust her portfolio. I just had a call with a gentleman on Friday, and we were talking, and he's like, I want you to have full discretion. I don't want to be talking to you. Maybe once a quarter we can do a follow-up. I want you to just manage everything yourself, and I can focus on my job and my family and what I'm doing. So it is interesting to see what people want, but that's to me, that's the whole point of that meeting. If someone has a financial advisor, I will ask, What did you like about that financial advisor? What would you have changed, right? I want to know, what is it you're looking for me? Now, can I be everything to everybody? No, but you can adjust how you are. That client that doesn't want to talk, once a week, once a month, twice a month, only wants to talk once a quarter, I can make that in the notes and I can call that client once a quarter. When I have clients like that, I do send emails because I want them to know what's going on in their portfolio. When I have that client that wants to talk multiple times a week or whatever, when I make sure that they know that they're okay to call me, like, please call me, because I might get so busy and wrapped up in something I don't. I also have a calendar, like, on your desktop, you have those calendars. I put in calendar alerts. I have things pop up. Call so-and-so. I have one that's in there now to call somebody at 8:30 on Monday because she and I scheduled a talk. So, but those are things that I get out of that meeting. So when I go into a meeting, when you go into a meeting, what is your goal? Your goal is to get the client, right? You've driven someone, you've taken your time, you're a financial advisor, you need clients. You're not going to go to a meeting if your goal isn't to get that client. So what do you need to get that client? I'll tell you what you need. A connection. You need a connection. And you're going to get that connection because you're going to be truthful and honest, but you're going to be listening. What is it they want, right? And then sometimes it's, what story can I tell? What anecdote can I tell that's going to make us have a connection? Early on when I was at Morgan Stanley, actually when I was still in that, pre-production period, I brought my father. Morgan Stanley really wanted me to pair up with this guy. Actually didn't want me to pair up, wanted me to be underneath this wanted me to work on this guy's team as a subordinate, which is not something I wanted to do. But I brought my father in and I saw him work on his sales. And it was very interesting. All he did was high-level sales talk. And he never once mentioned my father's portfolio. He never looked at my father's portfolio to see what stocks he's had. And my dad brought his portfolio and all that kind of stuff. It was all high-level stories. Now, maybe that works for him most of the time. But with my dad as a client, knowing that my dad was on the board of a wealth management company that's pretty knowledgeable, that gentleman should have asked my father, what brought you to this meeting today? And if he had, my father would have said, I think I made some mistakes in my investments over the summer. I need to readjust my portfolio and I'm looking for someone to assist me. This gentleman never asked that question. He never asked why my dad went to that meeting and accepted that meeting. And it probably would have changed the entire tone of how that gentleman interacted with my father. Now, it might not have, but it probably would have, or it should have, or he could have brought his investment guy in to have that conversation. But he never did that. And so he basically wasted my father's and my time, and his own for that matter. My dad and I went out to lunch. My dad's like, I'm never working with him. So that is why, you need to know, I believe, your very first question should always be, what made you agree to this meeting? What made you want this meeting? Why did you want this meeting? And know that your goal is to get that client on. So you need to know why they're there. You need to have that connection made with them during the meeting. After every single meeting, whether it's that day, I write it and it goes to the mail the next day, or I write it the next day and it goes in the mail, I write a thank you note. I write a thank you note and I follow up. I need a reason to follow up. So while you're in that prospecting meeting, I am horrible at saying, okay, I used to be horrible. I'm going to speak positively. I have gotten so much better. I say, I would love to have you as a client. I think we could work very well together. Because to me, it's together. Because if we're not communicating, I can't be an effective financial advisor. So it has to be a together thing. And usually I do have a connection. I actually haven't met one client or one prospect who I haven't really liked. I've liked everybody I've met. I felt that I could help them. I feel that what I can do for them would be beneficial to them. So that's how I think you need to leave your meeting with people is, I would like you to be a client. I think we would work very well together. I think I would be an asset to your estate planning or whatever it is. Anyway, I hope that was helpful. Thank you so much for watching. Have a nice day.